Welcome to the Coop Tank. I'm your host, Steve Cooper, coming to you from Sweet Recording in beautiful Mount Laurel, New Jersey. I'm here with my producer, Joe. Hey, Joe, how you doing today?
Coop, I'm doing great, brother. How are you?
Good. We went on last Friday. It was 4th of July, and I got to tell you, me and Joanne went to my mother-in-law's house. She lives in the Philadelphia building right on 24th and Fairmount. And if you're in Philly, there's a great bar on 25th called the Black Taxi. It was an Irish pub, and it was a cool crowd, and it was just good. So if you're over there, Joe, get a drink there.
I will be sure to check it out, Coop. I'll be in Philly. I'll be in Philly probably Sunday. So we'll see if I feel like grabbing a Sunday beer.
Okay. And are you going to be in Philly pushing the Contap? You push your Contap here. Tell everyone about the Contap.
Hey, I would love to. Thanks, Coop. So Contap is the future of connection. And what that means is we have a series of NFC devices that's near field communication. And what that is the smartphone tap tech. And what we do is we have wristbands, key fobs, table stands, and more products like that. And we have a software that we really believe makes it easier than ever to share the content, the contact information, the websites that matter most to you in that moment. So you create a profile, and then you can instantly redirect that same device to either go to your profile that has all your information on it or to a direct link. So it's just really easy, really convenient. You don't need to download any apps, and it's affordable too. So if you're looking to learn more, you can either scan that QR code there or contact me, Joe Gangemi. Would love to connect on LinkedIn, or go to contap.com. That's CONNTAP.
And also, I want to tell you something about, tell a little bit about Sweet Recording. And can I get a clock up so I can see what time it is?
Yes.
I hate looking down at my phone or my watch, but me and Joe, it's funny. So Joe, tell us a little about Sweet Recording.
Yeah, Coop. I'll pull that clock up for you in just a second. Sweet Recording is where Coop and I are right now. It's a studio in Mount Laurel. It's a content studio. It's a podcast studio. It's a YouTube studio, social media studio. Any type of content that you can imagine, we can help you soup to nuts, front to back, from strategy all the way through to recording and production, video, audio, live streaming like we see here, and everything else. We even do studio design and studio installations. I've been working with Howard Eskin, built him a studio. We do a live stream twice a week. He's a really fun guy to work with. Contrary to what you might hear, he's been great. Super nice guy. I love him, and he's the man. So we work with some pretty high-profile people. Here we are working with Coop. He's the man. He knows everybody. And so, yeah, reach out to us. We'd love to learn about your content dreams and what you're looking to do, to help your brand, your business, right, or whatever it is that you're looking to do from a content standpoint. We can help you out. So that's Sweet Recording, SUITE recording.com, or again, contact me, Joe Gangemi, on LinkedIn. Would love to talk about it.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
And take it away, Coop. And here comes your clock.
I will. Exactly. I'm all about the clock. We have a great show. The gentlemen, I've all met them through networking. That's I always talk about. That's a big thing. You meet people through networking. And my first guest is from Agresta Engineering Planning. It's Sam Agresta. How you doing, Sam?
I'm doing well, Coop. Yourself?
Good. And I got it right? It's Agresta.
You got it, my man.
Yeah. I like it because this week it's all easy names. Like the next one, from Maryville Integrated Care, it's Bill Crowe. How you doing, Bill?
Hey, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing great. And finally, another easy name from Maximus Mortgage Advisors. It's Anton. How you doing, Alan?
Hey, Steve. I'm great. Thanks for having me.
All right. So Sam, tell us a little about your company, what you do, and what your company and what you do for them.
So my company is Agresta Engineering Planning, AEP. We're a civil engineering firm. We do primarily land development. So basically, an easy way to describe it is the architect would take care of the structure, everything from the walls of the structure out to the property line and the right-of-way areas and the roadways. We handle all the design work and construction management for that kind of aspect of a construction project.
Okay. How about you, Bill? Tell us a little about Maryville Integrated Care.
Sure. I'm the Chief Development Officer for Maryville Integrated Care. I oversee our fundraising, our marketing, and communication activities. Maryville is a nonprofit organization. We celebrated 75 years last year. We're one of New Jersey's oldest treatment centers. We help individuals and families who struggle with substance use and mental health treatment using evidence-based treatment.
Okay, that's great. I know you had a great golf tournament a little while ago, and you guys do a lot of good, and that's awesome. And finally, from Max's, I'm going to call you MMA. Can I call you guys MMA? Even though it's Maximus Mortgage Advisors, but it's MMA to me. And I have one of your hoodies. Actually, I wear the hoodie a lot. It's a cool hoodie. And
I'll get you a new T-shirt too. These are new here.
All right, I'll wear it on air. So, and we have Anton. Tell us a little about what you do in your company.
Yeah, great. Thank you. So we're Maximus Mortgage Advisors. We are doing business as Maximus, like the Gladiator. Uh, Behind us is our parent company, EMM Loans. We're a full service mortgage based lender based in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. So I can help anybody that's looking to buy their very first home to savvy investors that need a more niche products. We have them covered.
Okay. So, it's funny with the show today, we're all like, everyone's job is like not even, they're close to each other. That's what I love when people have completely different areas of expertise and stuff. Sam, how did you end up, what is your path to end up running Agresta?
So, from right out of high school, I always worked at small firms. I always considered myself like a small firm guy. I worked for one big firm, which I will not name, and just didn't like it. It wasn't a fit for me. So, through my career, worked through a handful of small firms. And then one day I just kind of decided, hey, I could do this on my own. Put in my 2 weeks notice and I walked away and started it from scratch. I didn't, steal any clients or anything like that. Just kind of up and true grassroots effort. Just started on my own. So just entrepreneurial minded, I guess.
And you got the Drexel shirt. Everyone thinks Drexel engineer. It's always the everyone thinks that right away. Yeah. Bill, how did you end up at Maryville? Because then you have such an important job, and you guys do so much for the community. And how did you end up there?
Thanks. I spent most of my career either working for agencies that provide mental health and substance use treatment, or an organization that represented and advocated for better rules, regulations, and laws. So when the opportunity at Maryville came up, Kendria, our CEO, was so excited. She had such passion for the agency and such vision for what she wanted me to come in to do. So I've been here for 8+ years. I love it.
Okay. How about you, Alan? What's your path to Maximus?
Yeah, really. So thanks for asking. I started in this business 23 years ago. It's crazy to say. I was studying for my Series 7 at the time as a financial advisor. 23 years ago, my brother was working at PHH Mortgage, where a lot of people started in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, and cut my teeth in a call center. I was a sales trainer for a while, and I become what's more called self-sourced, where I'm kind of getting my own business from realtors, financial advisors, my own network, really. And that's really why I'm at Maximus is I can provide this, they provide the support that I need. And more importantly, I can offer any product, out there to all of my clients.
Okay. So Bill, we're going to go with you on this. You said, why this is what you love about your job. Well, tell us, what is it? Because people always say they love their job, and they'll just post it. They'll put, I love my job, but they don't say why. It's like, I always said there when someone says what I've learned, and it's like, whatever, shut up. But love your job. I mean, you guys all do, because I've run into you all look very happy and you're all smiling. Bill, what is it specifically, a few things specifically that you love about what you do?
I love hearing from patients who are doing well in recovery. If I have my Maryville shirt on and I'm at Wawa, I get stopped by former patients and kind of give me a wink and thumbs up that they receive services with us. Hearing directly from clients who are just doing well, who Maryville was able to help them in their journey. So that is kind of what makes it good for me.
Okay. How about you, Alan? What do you love about what you do? Because you've been in the business for a long time.
Yeah, at this point, I love really connecting people, and being the mortgage lender, you're the person that really holds the money in the end of the transaction. Not just is it rewarding to help the homeowner and the buyer that's getting the money, but there's so many people involved in a domino effect, from the realtor that's helping the buyer to the realtor that's selling the home that they're buying to the title companies. So what's rewarding to me is I'm kind of the glue that keeps it all together.
Okay. How about you, Sam? Once again, another guy who's been in engineering for a long time. So what is it that you love about what you do?
So I would say that the problem solving, the things that come up on every project. So as an engineer, we design things and we make things fit. And that's good when you put it on paper. But when a contractor goes to build it in the field, something always comes up and it needs to be addressed like immediately. So I kind of get, I guess, like a little bit of a rush from that aspect of it. Sitting behind a computer, clicking buttons and connecting lines is okay. But when things come up and need to be addressed immediately, and you have to make those on the spot decisions, that problem solving aspect is what I like most about it.
Okay, so you're all in position where you work with people and you have to be positive. I mean, that's something that everyone should be that way, but sometimes we aren't. And when you talk about mental health a lot, and when sometimes you just wake up in a crappy mood. You ever just do that? You wake up and you feel like shit. You don't feel like dealing with anything. You're just like, oh my God. Yeah. So what do you do, Alan? I know besides listening to WXPN, what do you do to get yourself, how do you get out of a funk when you wake up in the morning, you have a full day of appointments, you got to meet people and you're all important to what they're doing. The engineering, the mortgage, the addiction and everything, the treatments, you have to work with that. So how do you get yourself out of a bad mood, Alan? If you wake up and you're like, oh Christ, I got a long day. In 2 hours, I got a few appointments.
I love it. Well, I love you did some research that, I listen to XPN. That gets me going in the morning. But even this morning, I got to the gym. I work at the LA Fitness over here in Marlton and Route 73. My kids are off of school for the summer, so it's a little bit easier to navigate that in the morning. Got up early before anybody else was up and got to the gym, even hit the sauna for a little while. So that just gets my heart going, got me excited for this podcast today and gets me going for the rest of the day.
Okay. How about you, Bill? What do you do when you wake up in a funk?
Driving in, I have Spotify on, and I have certain go-to songs that will just get me tapping my hands and kind of singing along. Get a Pearl Jam song on, and turn it up loud, and it just kind of gets my heart going, gets me singing a little bit, gets me out of the funk, and yeah, I'm ready to go. I'll
tell you, man, when you hear Pearl Jam Alive, that guitar solo, no one talks about the guitar. That's like that. And then another guitar solo is 25 to 6 or 4 by Terry Kath, by Chicago. Yes. It's amazing. But the Pearl Jam, that song always picks me up. How about you, Sam? What gets you out of a funk?
When the days I'm in a funk are usually the days I get punched in the mouth. Like something comes up that I didn't expect. So you kind of have to muscle through it. Usually that's prefaced by like a bad night's sleep. So I'm tired. So I'll drink a hell of a lot of coffee and just grind through, man. And look forward to getting home and having a bite to eat and walking my dog at the end of the day. That's, hanging out with the family at the end of the day. I just muscle through, man.
All right. So in your everyday job, Bill, what's some challenges you face in your position? What are some challenges? I mean, because everyone has different challenges, but what is a challenge, a weekly or a daily or even monthly challenge that you encounter a lot?
It's a great question. We have a small staff, so there's 3 of us. We oversee a lot of different functions, just trying to get to everything. I mean, everything we do is important. Everything has to happen immediately, and trying to prioritize what has to happen. Some days we just can't get to it. Other days we can. So we plug along.
Okay. How about you, Sam? What's some challenges you've run into?
I'll echo Bill's point, man. It's keeping people happy, right? Because in my field, and I'm sure Bill, very similar to yours, everybody wants it cheaper, faster, more accurate. So those 3 things are like literally impossible. And no matter how many hours you put in the day, you can't get everything done. And somebody's pissed off at some point because you didn't address it quickly enough or respond. Why didn't you didn't respond to my email kind of thing? And it was like, dude, you emailed me at like 5:05, PM. It's 8:02. Like, give me a break, bro, But juggling, man, the juggling act, keeping people happy. And, we work with clients. So, you're only as good as your last job. And that's a really, really hard thing to maintain throughout time.
How about you, Alan? What's the challenge you come into?
Good question, Steve. I thought about it a little bit here. It's delivering bad news in my business. Sometimes you can't approve everybody. You have to send out denials. Appraisals come in low. And what I've done is just like these guys said, you just got to plug through and tackle it. I've read a book years ago called Eat That Frog. It means just do the things you don't want to do and get it out of the way right away. So I realized if that appraisal comes in low and I got to deliver that bad news, make that call right away instead of lingering on it, knowing you're going to have to make that call and just, dreading on it all day long.
Okay. It's funny. I was going to ask this question later, and I haven't asked it for a while, but we're going to keep with you, Alan. And you can't use Eat That Frog because that's, you just said that. But what is a book? I mean, because I don't read business books much. I'll listen. I know a guy, Matthew Del Negro, great actor, has a book called 10,000 No's. He was on The Sopranos. It's fascinating. I bought it, the audio, just because to support him, because he had done my show Cooper Talk, and it's so much rejection. Actors get so much rejection. It's crazy. But what's a book that has played? And if you read business books, or it can be a self-help book, or it can be, it can be Catcher in a Rye. I don't care. Or on the road if you wanted to go party and go across the country. What is a book, Alan, that has made an imprint on you and lasted in your mind?
Great. No, I have read a couple business books, and the two that come to mind are The Compound Effect and another book called Atomic Habits. And they're really based on the same ideas. And you realize that, if you're going down a bad path, eating the wrong foods and not exercising, how that can compound and get worse. That's how you gain weight and get out of shape. Or you can compound in the right way by exercising, eating the right foods. And I realized that by running, and people have commented on doing that. And then I realized to do that in business as well. Just being consistent with your efforts. In my business, I don't have control over interest rates, inventory, how busy my business partners want to be. So I can only control myself. And by doing the consistent actions each day, I think those two books have really helped me. The Atomic Habits and Atomic Habits, and the other one skipped my mind.
It's all right. It's all right. Not Eat a Frog. We already said Eat a Frog. Yeah. Sam, how about you?
So, truth be told, I'm not really a big reader. I read a lot of code, a lot of ordinance. And, when I kick back and read something, I really don't want to read any more facts or any of that nonsense. So I just started a series. I think the first book was published in '84. It's the Repairman Jack series. The first one, I believe, was called Prophecies. And the one I'm reading is Legends. And the guy's basically a fixer. So it's just a kind of cool storyline to go through. I'm on book number 2 out of, I think, like 10 or 12. So it just kind of gets my mind off all the business nonsense that I'm engulfed in, every single day.
How about you, Bill?
I got some props. It's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. It's on my bookshelf. I kind of like some of the self-help books. It gets you to maybe look at yourself from a 30,000 level view, and different ways to sort of look at what you're doing, how you might be able to do it better, different. Are you willing to change? Are you willing to do the different things that you want to improve the areas of your life that need improving?
Okay, well, let's keep with you then, Bill. What is something you have to improve on?
Jeez. This is out of my comfort zone, doing something like this. Public speaking, certainly areas, probably, even you, Steve, probably is something that, you still get nervous about, you still, want to get better at. There's times where I have to present to, companies, or I'm at the gala and I'm speaking, those types of things. So just trying to get a level of comfort and get used to, being in front of people, and even something like this, we got millions of people watching, right?
Oh yeah, there's millions, more than Live Aid, where there was a billion. Just so you know, Bill, and I'll tell you some people, anyone listening, you can email me, the Coop Tank at yahoo.com. In September, I'll be starting Coop's Confidence Through Comedy class, and it's a 4-week program, and you'll get over your fear of public speaking by storytelling or doing stand-up. It's your choice, and then we'll end it the graduation night. You'll be in front of a crowd at the Soundplex in Pennsauken. So I'm getting a date set for that. So if you're interested, mess me up, and if you hit up and you saw it on here, I'll give you 20% off. So there you go, you get 20% off. Sam, something you need to improve on?
I got to get my ass back out networking again, man. When I first launched, I didn't have a whole ton of work. So I did a lot of networking. I've been very, very fortunate, very busy, but I've kind of let the networking go by the wayside. And one of the worst things you can do is wait till it's too late, right? So I've kind of been dormant on the whole networking scene for probably close to a year. I think I've been to maybe 2 or 3 events in the past year. So I really have to get better at dedicating, even if it's one thing a month or two things a month, just dedicating, blocking out that time to get my face back in front of people again, that people who I don't know and don't interact with regularly.
Talking about networking, see, you guys are just throwing me lob balls. This is great. Talking about networking, the next Cocktails with Cooper is Wednesday, August 6th. 4 p.m. to 7. We had close to 80 people last week. I mean, people just kept coming in. And if you want to sponsor, reach out to me, the Coop Tank at yahoo.com. It's at Splits. Joe, did you like sponsoring? You got a little heat there, didn't you?
Yeah, man, it was great. Highly recommend it.
All right. See that. Now, Alan, how about you? What's something you think you need to improve on?
I would say not saying yes to every opportunity. You know, I've realized I'm kind of a yes man, and that'll stretch you a little bit thin, trying to please everybody. And again, I mean, I met you through networking, Steve, and I want to connect people. So sometimes when people ask you to do something, you want to say yes right away. So it's really kind of sitting back, looking at the opportunities that present themselves, maybe who you want to work with, those strategic partners in the future, and just be a little bit more selective.
Okay. So you got to say what you wanted to improve on, and I'll let you all think you're on LinkedIn now, and you can say how great you are. And have you got this certificate? Joe, have you gotten any certificates lately, Joe?
I'm sorry, Coop.
Have you gotten any certificates lately? Because I keep seeing everyone getting certificates every week. I want to know where I get a certificate for, so I can put it on LinkedIn.
Certificates for what?
I don't know. I don't even know half the shit. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, it's like, and then there's degrees. You know, it's like what Bill does. Bill is on his LinkedIn has a lot of abbreviations. That's important stuff. I don't even have the shit that people get. They're just
Bill
like
deserved all the certificates.
It's like when they say award winning, and it's like I'm award winning. It's like they won a like a spelling bee in 5th grade. And they're still writing award winning. But I'm going to let you guys, toot your own horn, as my mom would say. Sam, what is a quality that you're very happy you have that, you think people get attracted to that? What's a strong quality you have?
I have no problem talking to people. I have no problem getting in front of a group of people and talking. I'd like to think that I'm generally fairly easy to approach and speak to. I speak from I shoot from the hip kind of thing in conversation. I'm not going to sit there and bullshit you and try to confuse you with a bunch of big words and all these calculations. And I just try to keep things simple, man. That's
How about you, Alan? What's a characteristic do you like about yourself?
I would say that people would say that I'm reliable. That if they ask me to do something and I tell them I'm going to do it, that they know it's going to get done. Whether I, say I'm going to send that follow-up email and send the calendar invite, so it's on those meetings are on the calendars. I send it right away. Long ago, just a 3-minute rule. If I could do it in 3 minutes, I try to get it done, whether it's paying a bill or just being ultra responsive like that.
Okay. How about you, Bill?
I think people would say that I'm authentic. Pretty much, what when I'm talking to Sam at a networking event, when he comes, or, on this, this is me. So, I do my best to just be authentic with people. This is who I am. This is who I've always been. So, yeah.
All right. Hey, Stacy Linderman's there. Hey, Stacy. Handle the things that dread first. That's good, Stacy. I dread not being invited to the that 100 event. I saw you at that 100 event, Stacy. Philly 100. I don't know why I can't go to the Philly 100 event. I'm just joking. Stacy's great. Stacy, if you reach out to her, connect with her, she's awesome. And she's been on the show a few times. And she tries to make it to Cocktails with Cooper. She was there last time. Anyway, so while we're on the topic of talking about yourselves, okay. In the last year, Alan, we'll start with you. In the last year, give me something personal and something professional that you're very proud of, and an accomplishment you've made in both of them. It could be something with your family or you, but what 2 things that you're very proud of, one personal, one professional, in the last year?
Last year, I would say personally has been rewarding is being a coach to I have twin 14-year-olds. So they just finished 8th grade. I have a boy and a girl. And I've coached them since as early as 5 when they started playing sports. So I coached my daughter in basketball last year, and then my son in baseball last summer. And then Mount Laurel, we won the state championship in South Jersey out of 16 teams, got to go to the regionals in Guilderland, New York. And then we, of course, culminated in Cooperstown, which was just fantastic. So it's just been great being a coach. It was rewarding, just the bonds I built with the kids, but being involved in the community, being a kind of entrepreneurial, I get to meet so many people, and they already see out there coaching and doing that kind of thing. So, that you already people look at you as somebody they know they can rely and trust already.
Okay, how about something professionally?
I think the volume of business I've done, and I haven't really won any awards, so to say, or the certificates, like you said, participation trophies. But I would think that professionally, it's just helping business owners now. I don't just do residential loans anymore. So professionally, being able to go outside the box, I can do residential loans, conventional financing, government loans, but now I can help commercial properties, help self-employed borrowers. So I think that's really the most rewarding thing professionally in the last year.
Okay. How about you, Bill? Personal and professional?
Professional, I would have to say our first golf outing. We worked, we started about a year ago with Kim and Rupert as our co-chairs, planned everything, pulled together, the committee, all the way up, executed the event that day, exceeded our expectations on the revenue side. We had, great, people loved it, had fun. So that was very rewarding, I guess.
Okay, how about personal?
Personal, I know this doesn't sound real exciting, but landscaping. I've been working hard on our front lawn. I grew grass. I know that's exciting as a 58-year-old. Hey, I grow grass, but working outside, just those types of things have been rewarding.
Now, it'd be more exciting if you said you're 58-year-old and you smoke grass. That'd be something more exciting. Which I don't smoke. I just smoke because last time I smoked was years ago, and I couldn't handle it. I walked. My friend works at one of those dispensaries, and I swear to God, I walk in, and the stuff scares me. This stuff looks so good, and I do wish I could smoke because it just looks so good, and they have all gummies. And someone gave me at one of my events, someone gave me this little powder you could put into a drink, and I'm afraid to drink it because I'm like, what if I go schizo? And she says, Coop. I go, can I split it with my wife? She goes, none of you guys will get buzzed. It's like 2.5 milligrams. I said, I don't know what that means. But so as long as you're making grass, smoking grass, whatever, it's all good. How about you, Sam? Professional, personal, professional, either way you want to do it.
So I'll start professional, and like I'm sitting here, right? So 2 years ago, when I first went on my own, I never thought I would be able to, get the network that I've developed, get the clients that I've developed. So just how far along I've come in the last year and a half to 2 years. I'm pretty proud of myself for what I built, like I said earlier, from nothing. Personally, that's easy, man. My two kids, I got two girls, 15 and 13. They're both like straight A students with the occasional B, which, I was an idiot in school. I was like a C/D student at best, mostly because I didn't want to do the work, not that I couldn't do the work. So I'm just proud of them, man. They're in their extracurriculars, they're kicking ass, and they're growing up to be good young adults. So I'm like super proud of both of them.
It's awesome. So you can't answer this with a family member, this next question, okay? You can't say your daughters, you can't say your wives, you can't say whatever you want to do, your mother, your father, but someone in the last 5 years, think back, someone in the last 5 years who has helped you in your personal growth, and someone's been important someone in your life who's made a difference, because we always sit there and we say we appreciate people. That's a big thing now. I appreciate you. And I think it's become like a catchphrase. I appreciate you. Now, you mean it a lot of times. Like I might bullshit all the time when I send these PR people for musicians. I go, I really, I appreciate you guys for setting this up. And I'm like, no, just set it up. But we say that because it's a catchphrase somewhat now. But who is someone that has made, I'm going to stay with you, Sam, someone who has really made a difference and put an imprint in it, and you sit there and go, oh, wow, this person, like last week's Stacy Lindemann, who was just watching, someone said Stacy Lindemann really helped me out. Karen Seymour said she helped me out, getting me out the network, getting me, just being there. So who is someone for you, Sam, that's really put an imprint on you?
So that question is super, super easy. And I'm actually hanging out with his son tomorrow. So it was actually an old boss of mine, oddly enough. And I just stumbled upon the guy years ago. I took a job with him right out of high school. And worked there pretty much forever. And he was an entrepreneur himself. His name was Gary Thomas. He recently passed away. But the dude was like a major influence in my life. I mean, this is a guy who came from literally nothing, originally from kind of like a backwoods Tennessee type town, and wound up in the Northeast and built this awesome business, and which I worked for. And then he wound up selling it and retiring happily down in South Carolina. So I kind of, mimic this dude in all my motions, but he was like a super big impression on me. And it's like a lifetime imprint on me. I mean, the guy was phenomenal.
How about you, Bill?
I would say Kim Leiby. Kim, working with her on the golf outing, she encouraged me to get out to networking events, to, go on, different things, participate on this show, kind of get out of your comfort zone. So I've been doing that. And yeah, I appreciate her help.
Kim's great. She sponsors Cocktails with Cooper. Larepco, yes. People. Kim's been on the show twice. You got to connect her. Larepco. She's great. She's out there. She's always, when she puts a review, like she came to my first event, she puts this review. I'm like, oh, holy shit. Like, she came to my comedy show at the Soundplex, and I called George. I texted George, that's the owner, George Cook of the Soundplex. And I said, you got to check this out. I said, you got to put this up on your website. This is like, she had the dimensions, like everything. And I'm like, this is awesome. But yeah, she's great. So how about you, Alan? Who's someone who's made put an imprint on you in the last few years?
I probably sound a little brown noserish here. The owner of Maximus Mortgage is Matt Boyce. So I've been in the business 23 years, like I've said, and I probably heard his name for about 20 of them, who just was more entrepreneurial and went out and grew his own business and made his own brand. So he's just been inspirational to me to come along to Maximus to kind of get me out of my comfort zone. And one thing he really did well was brand himself by creating content, using social media as free advertising, which really got me out of my comfort zone. I do not like making videos and really going on podcasts, and I'm really becoming more comfortable doing it. I know it's a necessary part of my business. And, I just want to share educational content, because I feel like if I can educate buyers and investors, I'll be able to help them in the long run. So yeah, Matt's been very inspirational, just getting me over to Maximus and, helping me get out of my comfort zones in a few different ways.
Okay. So we all talked earlier about, people affect us and being happy and what you love about your job. And we talk about, being successful. We always sit there, and a lot of people don't. If you disagree with me, that's fine. But I think success and happiness are two different things. Okay. And I always make the point where it's like, happiness is like if I'm in one room and my wife is in another room laughing at a TV show. And that makes me happy. Like, she's enjoying herself. It's a matter of that she doesn't have stress and stuff like that. And success is completely different. I mean, when I was younger, I wanted to be a star. When I got out, I did stand up, I wanted to be a star. Now I'm like, that's not success. I know too many people have crashed and burned from that. So they look back later and they go, holy shit, I've lost everything. So I thought the success would run forever. But for you personally, and we'll start with you, Sam. What is success and what is happiness? And once again, if you think they're the same thing, that's fine. I just think they're different, but it doesn't mean everyone else thinks they're different. But what is success and what is happiness to you?
Yeah, no, that's like a really great question. So, I mean, I think I'll start with happiness. So I think happiness is being able to spend like time where you want it. I see so many people sit behind a desk until 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, and then they're sending emails at 4 a.m. Like, that is not happiness. That's dreadful. So I think happiness is being able to have a little bit of freedom and do what you want when you want it. And that's not going to be every day, all day, but, being able to set that time aside on a Friday afternoon and go take a walk on the boardwalk or down the beach or whatever you enjoy doing, golfing, whatever it may be. Success, I would probably parse success with monetary value, right? Like, how much do you make? How much have you accrued? I think that's what defines success. I think both are intertwined, and everybody's level of success is different. Some people say, well, I want $1 million in the bank, and some people say, I want to make $1 billion company, where other people are like, you know what, I can get by off of X amount of dollars. So the two are tightly intertwined, but I would kind of separate them in that respect. Happiness is freedom, doing what you want, and I think success would have like a more monetary value to it.
How about you, Alan? What do you think?
No, I think they're different as well. I think Sam kind of hit it on the head that, success can be more like a monetary thing based on, what you've done in the past. And then happiness is really, from within. So I think, success is really subjective. It's really somebody's opinion of, the outside looking in, or how you feel, where happiness is more just personal and how you feel. I feel like sometimes the more successful you are, the happier you could be. But I don't think all happiness is just dependent upon success. So like Sam said, success, you think about your business and being a coach and things that made you successful. But the happiness part is kind of having the freedom to do what you want and, live in a positive way.
How about you, Bill?
I would say happiness is rooted in gratitude, right? We're, all of us here are blessed to have, good jobs. Fortunate to have a great house, and to be able to do what we do and all that, and to kind of sit back and be grateful for the things that you have, and that kind of makes you happy, but it makes you fulfilled, I guess. Success, working hard every day, going to bed at night, feeling that you did your best. That's how I would say.
Okay, and you see, that's right. A lot of people think they're different, but they do intertwine. I completely agree with you, Sam. So, as we mentioned a lot of times, we've mentioned networking a lot, because I always say, that's what everyone does now. It's not like the old days of cold calling or getting on a call. You meet people who meet people, and it's great, and you can build your network, and then you can weed out who you want to see and what you want to do. But Alan, do you think you're a good networker? And if so, why? And if not, why?
That's a great question, Steve. It's cliche to say your network is your net worth. So I feel like I'm a mediocre networker. I guess I feel like I could be stronger at going out of my way to meet more people. Sometimes if people are just in those conversations, is try to how to talk to those people a little bit more. But I also feel like I'm a good networker in the fact that I listen. So, when you're networking, I feel like a lot of people just want to talk about themselves or talk about what they do and how they can help. And I always like to ask more questions and then really be an active listener. And then by being an active listener, I feel like you just have a more engaged conversation, whether just, hey, what do you do? What do I do? Nice meeting, and move on. Maybe that active listening, I found, turns into that more of a 10 to 15 minute conversation. And although you may not always be able to help each other directly, by that 10 or 15 minutes later, somebody that you may be able to connect them with. And I think that's probably my strongest suit.
How about you, Bill?
I would agree with Alan. I think I'm a good networker. My preference in going to networking events and such is to have those probably deeper conversations. I'm not one that's going to go from person to person and collect business cards, and that's just not me. For me, if I can have some good conversation, touch base with people, say hi, show a genuine interest, that's what I like.
How about you, Sam?
I think in the last year, I suck at networking, but I do have the ability to be a good networker. Like I said, if I could dedicate more time to it. But I could certainly agree with Bill and Alan both. I ran into Bill multiple times. Alan, haven't had the pleasure of meeting you in person yet, but I mean, me and Bill would just sit there and shoot the breeze, not necessarily about, hey, Bill, do you need a site plan? It's like, how many kids do you have? Do you golf? Do you play Monopoly? Whatever. I think one of the worst things you could do in networking is kind of that hardcore sales approach, jamming your business card down people's throat. Hey, I could sell you this. I could sell you that. I could do this for you. Let me know more about your business. Like, I'm just not feeling that whole approach. It's not my style. Bill, I know for a fact that it's not your style. So just being that active listener, and, you know, somewhere down the road, you're going to cross paths with this person and they may or may not be able to help you out. But either way, what is it? There's no publicity that's bad publicity kind of thing. There's no connection that's, you know, a bad connection, I don't think, in my mind. Here's
something I'm going to bring up about when we go networking, and this irks me, and I think it's just me because I'm like that type of person. I'm temperamental. I'm like a Larry David type. I'm becoming a curmudgeon. I'm like my wife says I'm like the get off my lawn guy, but we live in a condo, so we don't have a lawn. So I just give people the finger out through the window. I'm like, get out of here. When you go to an event, and you're talking about pushing cards, and we all give our card out. I'm very hesitant in giving my card. I always say, you're not going to sell me anything, are you? And they no, and then they try to pitch you. And I go, no, then you give me my card back. Give me it back. But no, does it bother you? And maybe it's just me. When you go to an event and you give your card to someone and you're talking, but you don't really talk to them much. You talk to them for like 2 seconds. Oh, well, can I have your card? Sure. And then the next day, you open up your email and you're on their blog or their whatever shit they have. They're the blog or our newsletter. Now, if someone says to me, hey, Steve, can I add you to my newsletter? I will say, yes, please. But it pisses me off. And maybe it's just me when people just add me without asking. I think you should have to ask someone. And because Bill, I can tell you're a very passive guy. Does it piss you off or are you fine with it? Like if all of a sudden I meet you at an event, you don't know me. And then all of a sudden I sit there and go, hey, welcome to the Cooperverse. Here's what I'm doing. Would that piss you off? Or are you okay with that?
Doesn't piss me off, but yeah, let's build a relationship first. Let's get to know each other a little bit. Let me find out more about what you do, hear what I do, those types of things. And like you said, kind of, we get so much junk email. It's yeah. So I would say that wait a little bit, and let's have a little bit more of a rapport before we get into that.
The best is I got some email and it said, spell my name Stephen. I'm like, dude, like how, don't even look like you just put Steve. A lot of times people say Cooper. I'm fine with that. But I'm like, how, don't put me on. Or I get stuff to when I worked for Coit Cleaning and Restoration. I still have the email from them because it's my friend's company. I'm not going to hack them. I get emails there out of me. I'm like, how do you even have this email? I haven't been there for 5 years. I mean, after the pandemic, I was gone. Sam, how about you? You left. I think it bothers you. I think it's something that irks you.
So, yeah, it does definitely, where you're getting this like unsolicited stuff that you ask for. But what I find more annoying than if I gave somebody my business card. So I'm sure we've all been part of other networking groups that they'll do the list. These are the attendees. And then you get an email from some idiot you didn't even talk to. And it was like, hey, great speaking with you the other day. And I'm like, dude, I don't have the best memory, but I can remember who the hell I talked to 12 hours ago, and you're getting an email. Yeah, well, here's what I sell. And it's like, I did not talk to you. So, piss off kind of thing. But yeah, I find it very annoying. Like you said, if you give them your card and say, hey, send me the email, cool, I'll read your newsletter. It's great. But yeah, the unsolicited stuff, I mean, it's.
And I just wonder, why do they do, don't they know? I don't know. It's just weird. How about you, Alan? What's your take on that? Now, Alan's like, I sent you that, Cooper. I spelled your name wrong, you son of a bitch. I hate you, Cooper. I'm getting off the call. Now, Alan, what's your take on it?
You have me thinking about like the old dating days, right? Like you just don't want to just come on too strong. And that's really what you do. I try to put myself in other people's shoes, right? So if every card I got, if I just put them on my distribution list, they're going to get that weekly newsletter from me that they never asked for. So, I'd rather, somebody ask me first. If I get the business card, just like, Sam and Bill said, let's kind of email first. How can we help each other? And then, hey, you don't mind if I add you to my distribution list, ask them to do that. So yeah, it does kind of piss me off when all of a sudden you're getting spammed on somebody's, hey, this is what I do, and you're everywhere. Like I hardly even knew you, and I didn't really even like you anyway. So how do I unsubscribe?
I love when people say, well, just hit unsubscribe. I'm like, no, I shouldn't have to. I should not have to hit, and especially like Constant Contact, there's no unsubscribe button. You're screwed. I mean, I sent someone a little while ago, I said, please take me off your list. And I got an email the next day. And I'm like, yeah, oh well. Anyway, so we're all on social media, and our world is a very weird place right now. I don't talk politics. I don't, in my comedy act, I don't do politics. I'm an independent. I see problems with both sides, but that's not the point. But I do notice that, some people do put on LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn and Facebook are completely different. But I don't think people should put politics on LinkedIn. I'm not really a big fan of putting religion unless you're in the clergy. I'm not against religion. I'm married to a Catholic. My wife, she goes to church. I don't go. But so do you think, Alan, that people should put politics and their political views on LinkedIn?
No, I really don't. I mean, I feel like, again, social media I referenced earlier is free advertising to business people like us. And you just, sorry, go ahead. It's the question again. I just lost my train of thought.
No, do you think you should put politics on LinkedIn?
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think you should post politics because, again, it's just like the business place I was trying to say is you don't talk sex, religion, and politics like in your workplace. So I think you should really keep those three things out of social media if you're really trying to be a business person and build your business out there. And you just don't want the political messages, like you just said, you're going to alienate half the people. So if I'm friends with 2,500 people on Facebook, if you're going to go one direction or another, half the people are going to agree with you and half the people are going to disagree with you. So I don't think it's good for business. I just try to stay away from that altogether.
How about you, Sam?
Yeah, I agree with Alan, man. Like, I'll sit around and shoot the shit with my good friends, my social friends, about politics, religion, whatever it may be. But in the workplace, man, and people I really don't know or I'm just meeting for the first time, those are two things people get very, very passionate about. And I try to avoid at all expenses. And that's just my personal approach.
How about you, Bill?
I'll agree to what Betty Mall said in a previous episode with you. We all know, how you feel about certain, topics or politicians and things. Post about your trip, show us pictures from Italy. Let's see your dog, as Betty said, on LinkedIn, let's keep it business. If you're proud of your daughter because she graduated, that's awesome, but yeah, let's keep it to business for LinkedIn. Yes.
At least there's been a downtake, and there used to be a lot of guys like at the gym. They put it up on LinkedIn, and they'd be like shirtless. I'm like, dude, that's not LinkedIn. That's come on, that's Tiger Beat magazine. I mean, come on, stop trying to show yourself off. So okay, this is just give me a quick answer on this. A big thing in the everyone's talking about is AI right now. I don't use AI on my posts. I understand how it can be very helpful in the workplace. I understand it takes a lot of stuff off people's plates. You can use it as an assistant. You can, we've all been on a website where they say, "Can we help you?" And you answer the question. It's better than going on the phone where they prompt you 77 times. I as a creative, I don't like it when people post with it. If that's what you do, just do. I think I can tell the post is done by AI. But for you guys, do you want to embrace AI? I want to embrace it, but I don't like certain issues of it. Or is it something you really don't care about? Bill, because what you do, I don't think really AI would come into a big part of your business, but maybe I'm wrong. But what's your view on AI? Do you want to embrace it, or you're like, eh?
For AI, the way I use it is maybe to generate some ideas, just to kind of get, my own, thought process moving. It's kind of a, way to jumpstart sometimes, but, tying back to, being authentic, people are going to realize that you're putting out something that isn't you. I have a certain tone. I have a certain way about writing. I have a certain way about communicating. And if it comes out through AI, it's going to sound, a certain way, and people will see through that. So that's how I use AI. Yeah.
How about you, Alan? I think it might be a good tool for you because, like, with rates and all that stuff, I may be wrong, but what is your take on AI? Do you like it? Do you use it?
Yeah, I mean, I've had to learn how to embrace it really because I just feel like that's the future, right? And just learning it. People said it was going to take over our business, but I always feel like mortgage, you're always going to need a kind of a touchy-feely in the mortgage business. But the way I've used AI the most is kind of with like the Chat GPT. And even my manager gave me a good idea is when you're asking Chat GPT to deliver you some content or information, you can say, dumb it down to a 5th grade reading level. And then it does. And then the Chat GPT, I'm logged in now and have an account. It gets to know you. So it doesn't sound as artificially, kind of gets to sound more like you as well. And then even this morning for the podcast, I asked Chat GPT, because I'm trying to prepare myself with some witty responses to some of the questions you're going to ask. And it gave me some good things, to come up with that I really didn't have to overthink of what I was going to say. So I feel like it's got a huge part, and I'm glad I'm learning about it because I really feel like it's going to even get, have a greater takeover. And I want to be on the train and not being like, oh, I wish I learned about that years ago.
Wouldn't it be great if you said dumb it down to like a 3rd grade level and it came back in crayon, like it's written in crayon? That'd be awesome. Sam, how about you? For engineering is probably what you do. I'm guessing there's a lot of good use for it or bad. I don't know. Tell me.
Yeah, no. So I use it in a couple different ways. I use it. I'm not a great writer, so to speak. So I could put together a business letter, but I'll use it for proofreading. And I also use it as kind of like, I like to call it like a super Google, where instead of, sifting through 200 web pages where I'm trying to find one thing, I'll just ask it, put me a list together that involves these 3 things, and it'll compile it very quickly. And one thing with AI though, when you're using, what's it called? Copilot or Chrome or Gemini or Chat GPT, you have to check these things, man, because they're, it'll pull some obscure stuff out of left field, and it's like, well, that ain't right, So it's not like you could just lean on this thing as it's the word, I think it's good, like Bill said, as a jump starter, give you some various ideas and things like that. But by no means can you lean on this thing wholly and say, like, I'm just going to take what it wrote and put it in a letter, because it comes off as unauthentic, and sometimes it's just downright wrong. So you do have to be careful how you apply it.
Well, you guys were, some of you were nervous about coming on today. So you made it through. We're coming into the last question. You can't be nervous. And, a lot of times we get put in a mentor role, and because you guys are out and about and you have good positions, people ask you for advice. It can be anyone. Sam and Alan, you have kids who are probably going to go to college soon. I mean, at that age, they're sitting there thinking about what's going on. So, for just life, what life, like Sam, if someone came up to you and you wanted to get life advice for you, it could be business, it could be personal. What do you give them? What do you tell them?
I would tell them to go ask somebody else, man. You're barking up the wrong damn thing. You don't want any life advice from me, man, because if there was a mistake to be made, trust me, man, I made it. You know what I mean? So, just take your knocks in life, dude. Don't be afraid to try things. I think Bill said, stepping out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone, because if you don't, you're in the same damn place. I tell my kids all the time, don't be afraid to make mistakes, because if you don't make mistakes, you're not trying. So step out of your comfort zone, man. Make it happen.
How about you, Bill?
That's it.
Probably, your career is going to zigzag a little bit. It's not going to be that straight line, short of going to college to be a doctor and your dad was a doctor. You end up being a doctor. You come out of school, you're going to go this way, that way, this way, maybe step back a little bit, go forward, maybe in a whole different direction than, what you possibly even studied in college. So kind of be open to that movement, kind of, be aware for those opportunities where, you get to experience different things, and you might find something that you really enjoy a lot more than maybe what you thought you wanted to be.
Okay. How about you, Alan?
I would say my advice would be to pay yourself first, saving and investing early in your life. My father, who's still alive, just turned 80, one of the smartest people I know, told me at a young age that one of the strongest powers in the world is the power of compound interest. And if you just Google the word compound interest and how it works, if you're investing at a young age, it's just how that money is going to accumulate and compound over your life. So I would say, investing, even if we're in our 50s or whatever, it's never too late to start. But the earlier you can start investing, and especially being in my business and real estate, if you could buy your first home when you're younger, it's a great way to start building wealth.
All right. Well, yeah, it's been great, guys. Sam, how can people get in touch with you?
Email, phone number, webpage. Webpage is agrestaep.com. And email address sagresta@agrestaep.com. It's a little bit long, but look me up, Google me, the webpage will come right up. If anybody wants to chat about anything, feel free to give me a shout or shoot me an email. And
how about you, Bill?
Up.
LinkedIn is probably the easiest. Reach out, connect. Let's see if we can, help each other, learn about each other's business. We may not necessarily, help each other today, but maybe in the future, I go back to Sam and, I need something, or I can refer him to something. So I would say LinkedIn.
How about you, Alan?
I would say connect on social media, whether it be LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram. Just a great way to connect. I can follow you back. We can share each other's content, comment, and post on each other's stories. And that's really what helps grow the communities.
How about you, Joe? How can people get in touch with you?
Yo, Coop. Yeah, man. Excuse me. Connect with me on LinkedIn, Joe Gangemi. That's Gangemi. Hit me up. Would love to connect and tell you more about Sweet Recording, Contap, and I would love to learn more about what you're doing as well. So hit me up.
All right, people, you can check out my new website, coopscomedycorner.com. That has all things Steve Cooper merchandise. We got T-shirts, we got hoodies, we got water bottles, we got mugs, doggy sweaters for all my shows. This show, the Coop Tank. We have also for my flagship show, Cooper Talk, and then my newer show, Coop's Comedy Corner. So go check that out. Also, check out all those online. Go to coopertalk.net. I have over 1,000 episodes. I just posting soon as a buddy of mine who was on the TV show Cold Case, which is a great show. Go onto YouTube, look up the Coop Tank or Coop's Comedy Corner. Watch the show. If you're in business, you're going to enjoy the show. And and you can email me at thecooptank@yahoo.com. The next Cocktails with Cooper is August 6th. I'll be doing stand-up at the Mission Cafe in Brigantine next Friday, a week from tonight. And so that's about it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, Sunday is the 40th anniversary of Live Aid, and there's a few stations playing the whole set, and there's a great documentary about it on CNN at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night. So anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you to my guest, Joe. Thank you. Check out Sweet Recording. Go get your Contap. I'm Steve Cooper. Have a great weekend.